Namaskar.
I am Topesh Ranjan Mitro.
Topshe. Yes, Detective Feluda's first cousin and his accomplice. Got it right. Me, the John Watson of Arthur Conan Doyle. Me, the narrator of all Feluda's stories in the book. I am there always with Feluda, and in the process, I have learned to solve the mysteries and find solution to various problems. So here am I,
Quietly, silently,
trying to solve the puzzle, solve the mystery. What mystery? Mystery behind Feluda's popularity. Me and this important mission. The mission about Feluda's appearance and he being imprinted in our minds as the superhero. Feluda's emergence loses its importance without thriller writer Jatayu, whose real name is Lal Mohan Ganguly. His blessings are a must, and here we are, unable to proceed without seeking his blessings. Hello, Lal Mohan Babu. Me Topshe. I have ventured upon a new mission all alone to explore, to unearth the secret behind the popularity of Feluda. For half a century, Feluda's admirers have increased many folds. From 8 to 80, all are his fan. So we have decided to make a radio feature on him and have named it Forever Feluda. We need your blessing.
With blessings and best compliment.
Will it gain success and will it be as popular as Feluda? What do you say?
Albat.
Let me remind you, since Feluda stepped out of the pages of Sandesh into the cinema halls and into the hearts of millions, it was not easy. No dances, no pretty girls, but yet Feluda conquered all hearts. But how? With Feluda, there is a smooth urbanity which is both local and cosmopolitan. 6 feet, chiseled features, and good grey matter. His expertise in writing with both hands. His .32 Colt revolver he rarely uses. Fast-paced adventures, cracking codes and puzzles, finding hidden treasures. The clues would be mythological, theological, musical, bits of folk poetry, and Feluda would note in Greek letters. Not to forget the disciplinarian, an early morning bird with yoga every day,
and his dialogues as crisp as Feluda's starched kurta and jeans,
or untucked full-sleeved shirt
with his
brand of cigarettes
in his hand.
Feluda is not particularly interested in money as long as he has enough for books. Combining all these factors, all these aspects, Felumitra is the all-rounder youth conqueror of all hearts. Everyone just loves him and admires him dearly. To unearth more mysteries about him, I went to Sandip Ray's house. Sandip Ray is the son of the great legend Satyajit Ray.
It was in the year 1965 that Feluda first appeared in print in Sandesh, our family magazine. The first was Feluda's first case, Feluda Goindagiri. My father was a great detective buff, and his favorite was naturally Sherlock Holmes and to some extent Agatha Christie's Poirot. He wanted to write a detective story for children. There was no question of a series. He never thought about it. But when the first story became so popular, so popular, and he got so many letters and phone calls that, everybody wanted a bigger Feluda. Everybody wanted a novel. So he started writing Batshayangti and there was no end to it. So he carried on. When 65, the first short novella came out, and he made his first film in 1974, 9 years after, Feluda was born. And he made Shonar Kella, one of his favorite novels. Another favorite was Rajasthan because he shot an extensive portion of Gopi and Baghabai in the adventures of Gopi and Bagha in Rajasthan, and he fell in love with the place. And he fell in love with Shonar Kella, Jaisalmer.
আর এটা কেল্লা, সোনার কেল্লা।
Shonar Kella
is all about a 6-year-old boy who claims to recollect events of his past life and mentions
precious jewels
and golden fortress, thus becoming a target for crooks, and is kidnapped. Feluda reveals the truth, saving the child. Yes,
Shonar Kella,
the best
children's thriller
ever made. Feluda on screen first time was Soumitra Chattopadhyay.
When he started writing these stories, we always wondered if film would be made later on. And when Mr. Satyajit Ray decided to make a film, Shonar Killer, I was asked to play the role of the detective. In the meanwhile, every puja issue carried his stories and his illustrations. I asked him once that it seems that you are drawing the pictures with yourself in mind. He jokingly said, why some people say that I am drawing them after you. I believe the fact is that the illustrations also changed in course of time. In the beginning, he never thought that I would be doing the role. But gradually it emerged that I was going to do the role, and a certain amount of semblance emerged in the illustrations. But I still think that Phelu, as a character created by Satyajit Ray, is one aspect of Satyajit Ray's character in reality. Phelu is like Satyajit, very inquisitive. Like Satyajit, he is truthful and loves to. He's very brainy and, has almost a computer memory. So it is one kind of a reflection of the great man.
And returning to me, that is Topshe. Well, Topshe for the first time on the big screen was Siddhartha Chatterjee.
Satyajit Ray, whenever he had to select kids, small boys and girls, he always checked up with the teachers in our school to find out whether someone similar to his sketches of that particular character would be available in that school or not. So similarly, he would have requisitioned for a Topshe from Patobhavan till Partha Bose, who is to be the literary assistant to Satyajit Ray, as well as he was the teacher of Bengali in our school. He thought that my face resembles Topshe. He took me straight to Satyajit Ray's house in Bishop Lefroy Road, the famous Bishop Lefroy Road house of Satyajit Ray.
The significant dollops of humor added to our adventure is Jotayu, in the words of Sandip Ray.
Jotayu, the bumbling thriller writer. The first appearance of Jotayu, he loved that sequence. He was thrilled to write it.
ये है मेरा सांप्रतिकतम उपन्यास, गोविड जाट के पटभूमिका में लिखा हुआ दुर्धर्ष दुश्मन छोटायू, मेरा छद्मना। असली नाम लालमोहन गानगौल। रावण राजा जब सीता माई जी को हरण करके ले जाता था, तब जटायु पक्षी आके उनको बहुत परेशान की। बढ़िया पक्षी जटायु, मेरा छद्मना।
Still photographer Nimai Ghosh, Reminiscence, Moments in the making of Sonar Kella.
One thing I can remember that most probably in Jaisalmer, the last sequence of the film, he has taken that shot about 60 within 2 hours. Because within 2 hours we have to come the connecting train or connecting bus, we have to come some other places. Because of all the shots are short divisions or sketches are pointed out in his red books. Accordingly he followed just like a mad. He was taking, I'm taking the photographs. I was very much thrilled. How is it possible? He was a genius, that's all. I never heard that any director has done about 60 shots in 2 hours.
And the next venture is to investigate the theft of the statue of Ganesh from Ghoshal family. The film is Joy Baba Phelunath. This incident took place in Benares during our puja holidays. Here, for the first time, the villain Maganlal Meghraj was brought to life so successfully
that he catapulted the Hall of Fame.
My name is Maganlal Meghraj. Uncle, very good. Lal Mohan, Mohan Lal, Magan Lal, sob Lale Lal hai. Ki, Halwa Mohan Babu?
And now, cameraman Soumitra Ray
narrates the humorous side of the story in the making of the film.
When they are going to Maganlal Meghraj's house, so Mahinda asked for one ox, because ox are very famous in Benares. It is very difficult to bring ox there. In our group, Kamu Mukherjee was there. He is very helpful. Suddenly, Asche, coming. What is coming? The ox is coming. And who is bringing the ox? Kamu Mukherjee was a bunch of radish in front of the ox, and the ox is following it. He asked Mother where to put the ox. The mother will here. So he put the radish there, and ox is eating, and we took the shot.
Sandip Ray, who brought Feluda to our drawing room through the teleseries of Feluda, and again back to cinema halls.
It was a long gap. When Feluda was celebrating its 30th year of publication, everybody told me that you should do something. You must do a film. But unfortunately, not a single producer came forward. So I had no other alternative but to do a telemovie. So I made a telemovie, Baksho Rahasyo, but not a single channel was interested in showing the thing. They said, you have to do a serial. But we released the telemovie in Nandon number 2, the second auditorium, the smaller auditorium, and it ran for 4 months, jam-packed. But still no producers. So what I did was split it into 5 parts and make a series. So Feluda 30 was born, and that series became very popular. I had to establish a new trio, and that happened when I was making Baksho Rahasyo. I felt that the audiences, they have accepted this new team. My first Feluda, Baksho Rahasyo, I have a weakness for that, because that was my first Feluda film. Not film, but it was a telemovie, climax of which takes place in Kufri, Simla, and one of my favorite stories. And then again I made Satyajit Ray, again a teleseries with a lot of Feluda stories. After telemovies became very popular, I did Dr. Munshid Diary, a very psychological Feluda thriller, whodunit in fact. And also the next Feluda, which was Gosaipur Sorogorom, I found it very interesting. Those are the television films. And that became very popular, and Ramoji Rao, he said to me that he is ready to finance a big screen Feluda adventure. So Mumbai Bombete was born, and it became a hit, so I have never looked back since. My first big screen film, I have a weakness for that also, Mumbai Bombete. very exciting, adventurous, thrilling, train and horses and everything. So that was great fun. And I also like Gorosthane Shabdhan with the Park Street Cemetery in the background. It worked wonders. And we had a thrilling and a slightly, spooky time shooting in the cemetery at night. So we had a great time. And also one of my very favorite novels is Royal Bengal Rahasya. I found it very exciting because there are no villains as such. It's a psychological crime, and that excited me very much. And of course Bachai Angti, because we had to reboot the entire series and we started in a clean slate. And when I got Abir, much younger Feluda, so I went back to Bachai Angti.
Yes, people accepted the new trio, the new Feluda. The new Feluda, Sabyasachi Chakraborty.
Firstly, I must say that I'm very fortunate to be given this role. I would be portraying Feluda, and that was way back in 1994-95. And it was a long time since Soumitra Chatterjee had played Feluda, because there were only 2 films made by Satyajit Ray. And after the passing away of Santosh Datta, he decided not to make any more Feluda films. So I had the nerve to go and ask him that, would you not be making any more Feluda films? He realized that I was very depressed. And I also told him that I would like to play Feluda. Basically, I always wanted to play Feluda, and I just felt this is the man I always wanted to be, right from my days of school. But finally what happened is, he said, the best thing would be if you can get in touch with my son, Sandip, and if he does, he might consider you. So, and that is how I approached Sandip Ray, and finally Sandip Ray decided to make this film, this telefilm called Baksho Rahasya. So that was my first work, and people liked it.
The baton from old Topshe to Shashwato Chatterjee, the new Topshe.
Actually, Satyajit Ray himself selected me. In a wedding ceremony, Jetima Vijay Ray called me up and said that, listen what he has to say. I went up to him, so he said, you could have been a good Topshe. Instantly it came out from my mouth, you won't do it again. He said that, how can I? Santosh is no more. Santosh Datta. When Babuda contacted me after a period of time, then I knew that he must have told Babuda or Sandip Ray about me. That's how I was casted in the role of Topshe, and it changed my life. It feels good to realize that I am a part of history now.
You listened to Feluda's appearance on big screen. But Feluda's debut was in the popular children's magazine Sandesh. So as a part of our making the feature, we visited Anando Publishers to know the sale of Feluda books from the then publisher Badul Boshu.
Feluda সমস্ত বইয়েই লক্ষ লক্ষ কপি বিক্রি হয়েছে উত্তরোত্তর Feluda সমস্ত বই বিক্রি বাড়ে
Lakhs and lakhs of copies were published, and it was the best-selling book for many years.
Between 1965 and 1992, Satyajit Ray wrote a total of 35 Feluda stories and novels. All this makes for largely entertaining fare, and it is no wonder that each Feluda book has been a bestseller. The plots include mystery, murder and adventure, most of the times in exotic locations, and an interesting, humorous and speedy style of writing.
A famous writer, Shanjip Chattopadhyay, was a Feluda fan of that period.
When Feluda was published, at that time I was a young man. And that's why my encounter with Feluda was in Sandesh as well as in Desh Potrika. It was a literary journal. I used to collect manuscript from great Ray, and at that time, no Puja Sankha will be complete without his writing. Feluda is a grand success, and it will remain successful, or it will be read forever and forever. It is so simple, so deductive, so attractive, it is so precise, so engaging, simply a miracle. It will remain a must-read subject in our literature. Feluda is more interesting when one reads in book. That's why all the writings on Feluda will be read by generations to come. There is no doubt.
And how does Feluda figure in today's Y generation? Let's listen to a young reader of today.
I am Neha Agarwal from Sri Shikshayatan College. I love reading Feluda books and watch all Feluda movies. First time I received a Feluda book as my birthday gift when I was in class 8. One hot afternoon when everybody was asleep, I just went upstairs to my favorite corner on the windowsill and started reading it. I was so engrossed that I read it till 9 in the evening, and from then to now I am a die-hard Feluda fan. I watched Garosthane Savdhan, that is Beware of the Cemetery, and all my friends from Delhi were there with me. Then we went to visit the spooky Park Street Cemetery. It was a real adventure.
And in today's tech-savvy generation, where does Feluda stand his popularity? Shubir Mitra, the present director of Anando Publisher, stunned us.
We are the publishers of Satyajit Ray, all the Feluda's stories. There are so many, about 35 books we have already published on Feludas, and there are about 12 comic books based on Feluda's stories written by Satyajit Ray. And I can say one thing, that when it was first published, during that mid-60s and up to date, the tremendous popularity among the, not only the children, among the adults also, the Feluda story will carry in the next generation also.
The legacy of humanism and the beauty of Feluda.
How is it different from others?
Soumitra Chattopadhyay.
There is a tinge of patriotism in that, in Felu. And also his human quality. He is extremely like a human being, ordinary human being, not an intellectual, not a professional detective. When he says in Joy Baba Feluna that either he will take revenge of the harassment that happened to Jatayu at Maganlal's house, or he will leave the profession. That was something really noble of Felu to say.
And this is what Sandip Ray has to say.
Feluda is exciting because it's an adventure travelogue thriller. While reading a Feluda novel, you learn a lot of things. I have never heard of Tintoretto before Feluda.
Future endeavor of Feluda, Sandip Ray.
A lot of things will be happening. Sandesh will be bringing out a special Feluda number sometime in December. And we have got a Rai Society. We are preserving his paper heritage and film heritage. And next year, we plan to do a Feluda film, definitely. It will be released sometime during the pujas, I think.
The appeal of Feluda crossed the banks of Hooghly and spread throughout the length and breadth of the country, and then crossed the shores of India too.
Sandip Ray reveals,
Feluda has been translated into a whole lot of other Indian languages, Marathi, Gujarati, Tamil, Telugu, and of course Hindi. And there were 2 audio programs on BBC based on 2 Feluda novels, Sonar Kella and Joyba Felunath. And Feluda has been translated into various foreign languages also, Spanish, Italian, German, and Japanese editions, beautiful editions. So we have all of them. Feluda is everywhere.
And there are other various avenues where Feluda exists.
Sandip Ray.
I had done 2 or 3, I think, Feluda for the radio, and with Sabyasachi and earlier with Soumitra. And even when Santosda was alive, he played Jotayu on radio. There are some crazy people out there, you know. There are a lot of websites on Feluda, a lot of fan clubs, and I get phone calls every day, and letters, and also email. Now you can't avoid that, and people are doing a lot of research on Feluda, and there are comic strips, graphic novels on Feluda, and people are still excited, and the film producers are, you know. So now there are innumerable producers willing to finance a Feluda film.
Message from Feluda to today's generation.
Soumitra Chattopadhyay.
Younger people whom I would like to see not taking any shortcut and adhere to truth like Felu, find out, if necessary, by dint of hard work, where the truth is, where is the welfare of our country, where the good of the common man lies.
I am
Topshe. I presume I have been able to establish the fact that Feluda is not merely a character. He is fascinating, a subject, a unique, ubiquitous creation who has embedded himself in the heart and mind of people.
The nostalgic appeal of Feluda films comes from an attempt to regain some of its views, lost childhood days.
Enchanting and comfortingly constant, always curious about the world around him, always 30-something, always sure in the knowledge that his cousin Topshe and his friend Lal Mohan Babu were there for him, and his corner of Kolkata, 21 Rajanishan Road, Baliganj, would forever endure, standing the test of time. He remains forever Feluda.